All right. So the question is, should you use books or should you just use the documentation that comes with the program? Somebody asked a question, so I'm answering it. It's a very easy one. Yes. You should do both. You should do both. You should use books and you should use man page. It's funny because there's actually a very negative comment on one of my YouTube videos I read recently that said, oh, this is another one of those boomers who's going to tell us to just read the man pages that come with the system. I'm going to refrain from being negative about this completely unemployed, mediocre, doesn't finish watching the video human being who made a comment on my YouTube video. Hey, there's a lot of them. And I will instead say that if you are going to learn something, you need to figure out what it is you're going to learn, and then you need to target the learning resources that are best to learn that thing. And that's it. That's it. I don't need to say anything else, right? Is it a book? Let me tell you the advantages of books over the stuff that comes on the system. Okay, the advantages of a book is that the book has usually been edited, right? That means that somebody has. There's usually a single author, one or two people have authored it, so you get a common voice. It's usually been edited. Usually it's been edited. I actually did another video all about that. Why I used to stay away from Pack Publishing versus O'Reilly, blah, blah, blah. So you want to get a good book. Usually, as usual, if you've got a mentor already, right? If you have somebody who's in the industry and you've already done the work, which is way, 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 way before you should be asking whether you should read a book or not. You shouldn't be asking me that. You should be asking the person that you found to be your mentor. And that is something you should have already done, right? And you might be using me as a fill-in for your mentor for right now, but I'm telling you, find a mentor who's doing your job, the job you want, and then ask them, what do you think is good? Is this book good? Is this thing here good? Is this video good? Is this series good? Because they're going to be the ones that are going to tell you what learning resource to use. And that is really at the core of the question. The question isn't about whether you should read from, the man pages and do web searches on a given thing, or should you read the book? The question is, where is the best place to learn the skills, knowledge, and abilities for the specific targeted career that I want, Mr. or Mrs. Mentor? You're going to ask the person, not me, right? And it's going to depend completely depending on the thing. I'm not trying to dodge the question. I'm trying to tell you that it makes sense. I have one story about this. I've told the story before. I'm going to tell you a quick version of it. So I went to a training for a week. I've done this video, I've done this story 3 times. So I went to training for a week, so they paid $2,500 to $3,000, something like that. Horrible training. Everybody got a gold star at the end. I went home and said, never send me to that again, manager Barb. I loved her. She was great. Give me the money instead. Went to Powell's Books in Portland, bought all the books I ever could want to study, and learned from those books. Having learned from my mentors, those were the books to get. Right. And we're talking about old school, chin beard, brilliant geniuses who dropped out of Reed College, who had printed versions of the Unix man pages on their shelves. And stupid YouTube commenters who don't understand how to do capitalization might make comments about those people. I would rather listen to them. And they said, no, if you wanted a definitive resource on Bash, there is nothing better than the Bash man page, literally. There is not a single book on planet Earth that covers completion using the -C on Bash. It just does not exist. I only discovered it by reading the Bash man page. It does not exist anywhere else. So if you want a comprehensive knowledge of a particular thing, in the case of Bash, you would go with the Bash man page on the system above any other printed material. And I've read 5 or 6 other books related to it. So yes, it's true that sometimes the resource is going to be better. If you want to understand TCP/IP, you can read the specification for TCP/IP and the RFCs. You learn to read specifications. Separate video about learning to read specifications at some point. I don't know if that's necessarily going to fall into the boost. We'll find out. But reading the specifications is a really good way to do that. Or you can buy TCP/IP Illustrated from Addison Wesley, which is the standard college textbook to learn TCP/IP. But it's extremely deep. It's extremely low level. It tells you everything you want to know about how a packet is formed. Should you buy the book or should you go read the spec? Probably both in that case. The point is it depends. And hopefully you have enough stories to do that. Hopefully you have enough stories to know about how to go on that.